Ryan Tannehill was drafted in the first round, 8th overall by the Dolphins in the 2012 NFL Draft. Not a lot of people know this, but he was originally a receiver at Texas A&M and stayed at that position in his freshman and sophomore year. But when asked to, he was able to transition to a quarterback in his junior year. And his numbers weren't all that great. He only threw for 45 touchdowns in his career there. This was just enough to get drafted 8th overall, like I mentioned earlier. And Tannehill was a full-time starter right away, and he was above average for the Dolphins. He was able to get the Dolphins to a playoff appearance in 2016, but that was just about it. And the Dolphins didn't see him as their franchise quarterback long-term, and rightfully so. He didn't really do much to warrant the need to keep him. So the Dolphins ended up trading Tannehill to the Titans for a bunch of late-round picks, and it made sense for the Titans because Marcus Mariota was on the hot seat for his quarterback spot. And after below-average performance by Mariota, Tannehill was able to become the starter for the Titans midway through the year. And after winning that job, it's safe to say he never looked back. Tannehill was a Pro Bowler in 2019 and even led the Titans to the AFC Championship game where they lost to the Chiefs. And this is incredible because the Titans haven't made the AFC Championship in a long time. And in 2020, Ryan Tannehill had his best season yet. He had career highs in touchdown passes with 33 and quarterback wins in the season with 11, and they also won the division that year. And during all of this success, Ryan Tannehill got himself a long-term contract with the Titans to stay their franchise quarterback. So after seeing Tannehill's career, it got me thinking, how did he become just kind of an above-average quarterback to a franchise quarterback on the team that did not even draft him? So I went ahead and I found 3 reasons why Tannehill is the franchise quarterback for the Titans and how he got to this point. So hi guys, I'm Jake and this is the Ryan Tannehill evaluation. So the first reason I have for Tannehill's success is that he finally has a really good head coach to play for. And Jason Brown from Last Chance U said best, coaching can be overrated, if the players aren't willing to do anything they can for you, it doesn't matter how good you are or how good the player is, it's just not going to work well. But still, it's really beneficial for a quarterback to play under a really good head coach because they get the best development out of the head coach usually. And during Tannehill's tenure with the Dolphins, he had a lot of mediocre head coaching. Tannehill's first head coach, Joe Philbin, was always in the 7-8 win range. And Adam Gase, despite him being really bad for the Jets, he was always a mediocre coach for the Dolphins as well. Once Tannehill got traded to the Titans, he was able to pair up with Mike Vrabel. And Mike Vrabel has his flaws, obviously, but he's easily the best head coach the Titans have had in a long time. And this really helped because despite Vrabel being a linebacker in the NFL, he's more of a defensive-minded guy. The Titans had such an amazing offense, and he deserves a lot of credit, same with Tannehill. That's very important to have that kind of relationship and to have that kind of trust, because Tannehill did really well, and a lot of that has to do with how his coach was able to set up his plays and everything else. But not to mention how well Tannehill played under it too, he deserves most of the credit, honestly. And the second reason I have for Tannehill's success is that he has a consistent workhorse running back. And again, I'm not saying another person's 100% in charge of Tannehill's success because he's not. Derrick Henry does a lot for Tannehill that he really didn't have with the Dolphins. I look back into the Dolphins' only year in the playoffs with Ryan Tannehill. They gave Jay Ajayi the ball a lot, and that helped Tannehill to be able to open up space for some play action plays and all the other plays that he could have ran. And that was the only year that made the playoffs too, so he was able to open up the offense better and to get them to the playoffs that year. Now with the Titans, as soon as he went to the Titans, Derrick Henry has become a top 3, maybe even the best running back in all of football. And again, this really helped open up lanes, and since Derrick Henry is obviously better than Jay Ajayi, it was able to open up a lot of room because they give it to Henry 20-25 times a game, and he deserves it. He ran for over 2,000 yards last year. And Tannehill is very good now, but he's not the type of guy that's going to carry your team 100%. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, those are the type of guys that can take a mediocre 6, 7, 8 win team into a playoff team. Tannehill can't do that. And with the help of Henry, he's able to find a lot of open guys because they expect to run more. And Tannehill is very good at making the right decisions. And whenever he can get more players open and he can make more of those good decisions, the sky's the limit for Tannehill. And other than Ajayi and Henry being workhorses, he's had some solid running backs, I think Lamar Miller and a couple other guys, but none of those guys were really workhorse running backs. They were good running backs, but not workhorse guys. So I feel that really helped, is having a guy like Derrick Henry to give it to you 20-25 times a game. And the third reason I have for Tannehill's success is that he finally had a guy he needed to beat out for the starting job. Ever since Tannehill was a rookie in 2012, he became the full-time starter right away and he started every game that year. And despite some injuries, he was always the starting quarterback whenever he was healthy. Now he got traded to the Titans, he's no longer the franchise quarterback at the time. They have Marcus Mariota, a number 2 overall pick from a few years before. Like, I feel like this made him more determined. Not that he wasn't determined with the Dolphins, but this made him have a purpose to try to beat someone out. And he's obviously been the better quarterback than Mariota. He's better the past 2 years than Mariota was his entire career. And I think having a chip on your shoulder just makes you play better because you have a purpose to play. And again, this isn't like, it's not like Tannehill didn't try with the Dolphins. But this just gave him more of an edge with the Titans because now, Mariota, like, he's on the hot seat and, Ryan Tannehill has a chance to beat him out, and he just tried his best to, and he was able to succeed with it. And it's a lot of fun watching the Titans offense play, If they can get a better defense, they're going to be a Super Bowl contender. Just a slightly better defense because their offense is so deadly. And even with Tannehill and Henry, they still have really talented receivers in A.J. Brown, even Corey Davis. And Jonnu Smith is a very capable tight end, They have a lot of pieces. Just the fix of, like, Ryan Tannehill playing to his potential, That's making the Titans such a great team. I can't wait to watch them play later on. So that was it. That was the evaluation of Ryan Tannehill. And the video is done, so you can click off. If you want to stay, I'm going to make a few announcements. So what I'm going to be doing now is making a video every other day and not on Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But I'll be making a video every other day because, my schedule sometimes can get a little bit hectic. But I promise you, I'll never go 2 days without an upload. And also, like, I'm planning on doing, like, the success of, or, like, how he's rise, or, like, the disappointment of, or how they failed. Those types of videos, like, so for football, like, I'm doing the success of Ryan Tannehill, and I'll do like a failure or a disappointment for a baseball player in 2 more days. And next week I'll do a failure or disappointment with a football player, and then I'll do a success of a baseball player. But the best recruit for each conference, like, videos will come like every other weekend. And whenever I do the success of a certain player, I'm not going to do someone like, Joe Burrow or Andrew Luck, who has always had that hype around them, and they become successful like we always knew they would. Like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do a quarterback who had some flaws or, like, came out of nowhere to do really well, and other players as well. Because that makes it more of an evaluation, If I was doing Andrew Luck, I would be seeing the same things that all the experts would have said. And for the failures or disappointment of certain players, I'm only going to do, like, top prospects or highly regarded players. Because if a guy like Joe Webb or Josh Dobbs, like, they're not, like, a starter in the NFL, I'm not going to do a video of why they failed because, like, they're late round picks, or I don't know if Webb was an undrafted free agent or not. They're still not highly regarded players. There's really no use in making a video just on them because they play to expectations. They're backup quarterbacks. And also, before we end, I want to thank you guys for your support. I only have like 33 subscribers at this time, but you guys are the 33 best people on YouTube, so I'd like to thank you guys, and I'll see you guys in 2 more days.